Hi there, this is Nova. Welcome to the Singer Featherweight Tip of the Month for September of 2024. This machine was shipped to me from Indiana for general service and repair because of tension issues. The thing that I wanted to point out to you about this machine is this chip out of its bed extension. Singer also called this part that raises up a leaf, but I wanted to show you this. There's a chip here right out of this bed extension. I often see this in my maintenance workshops that I teach. How did that get there? This happened when someone was trying to remove the needle plate improperly. I tell my students in my workshops that I would much rather teach you how to prevent damage rather than to try to repair it after the damage. Unfortunately, this damage is not repairable. Let's look at the correct way to remove and reinstall the needle plate. These two screws hold the needle plate in place. Sometimes they can be very difficult to remove. I find using this offset screwdriver to be most helpful for getting those screws loose. You can order this screwdriver through my website, novamontgomery.com. Most offset screwdrivers from your hardware store are going to have a blade that is too thick. It won't fit down in this slot. My source for these screwdrivers with the correct blade is from Europe. Once the screws are loosened, you can use a normal screwdriver to finish removing these screws if you prefer. These ergonomic screwdrivers are very helpful, especially if you have arthritis in your hands. And again, you can order these through my website. Once the screws are removed, then you can remove the needle plate. Once these two screws are removed, then you can remove this needle plate. The mistake that many make is that they will raise this bed extension up just a bit to try to reach under here, and that is where the difficulty begins. The bed extension must be down and flush with the machine bed, in other words, in sewing position, in order to remove the needle plate. All you have to do once the screws are removed is reach up underneath there and touch that needle plate, and it will pop right up, and you can remove it easily. If you raise this bed extension at any angle, that needle plate is going to get caught or stuck. That is how the damage, such as this chip, occurs. Let's learn to prevent the damage and preserve the machine. To reinstall the needle plate, I believe the best position for your machine to be in is up on its plug-in, like I have this machine here. So you can see what is happening here in this hook area as you begin to reinstall that needle plate. The hook area is where the bobbin case snaps in place. The hook area is here where the bobbin case snaps in place. The first thing you need to do when you begin to reinstall the needle plate is to rotate the hand wheel so that this thread uptake lever is in its highest position. Then you're going to take your finger and you're going to rotate the positioning finger. This is the positioning finger right here, and this piece here is called the bobbin case carriage. The whole part here is called the hook. This is called the bobbin case carriage because that's where your bobbin case snaps into. You're going to take your finger and you're going to rotate that positioning finger to where it is pointed straight up to where the needle would be if there was a needle in place, or thinking about it as like a clock, you want it pointed straight up at 12 o'clock. The bed extension needs to be open and flat or in the sewing position. Now you can place the needle plate in position. Okay, I have my thread uptake lever in its highest position. I have rotated the positioning finger on the bobbin case carriage to where it is pointed straight up toward the needle. Now I can put my bed extension is open in the sewing position. Now I can put my needle plate back where it belongs. The positioning finger on the bobbin case carriage must be caught in this notch on the underside of the needle plate in order for the machine to sew. And it likes to jump out at the last second, but with the machine in this position, I can see if that happens. All I have to do is look over here and I can see if that happens. So I'm just going to snap that into place, and I'm looking here and making sure that is caught. Let me show it to you from this other angle. The positioning finger on the bobbin case carriage must be caught in the notch on the underside of that needle plate. I'm holding that needle plate in place with my left hand from the other side. You can see if I move my hand, that jumps up. You'll know that it's caught. Once it's caught, this bobbin case carriage does not rotate around anymore. It will not rotate if that is correctly caught in that notch on the underside of the needle plate. Once that needle plate is correctly in place, and I know that I have that positioning finger caught in the notch on the underside of the needle plate, I can hold the needle plate in place with my left hand and simply set the machine back upright with my right hand, and that'll allow this position will allow gravity to help me replace those two screws that hold the needle plate in place. These screws can be a little bit difficult to get started. You never want to force a screw on your Singer Featherweight. If you have a hard time getting these started, you can place a little drop of sewing machine oil on the screws and try again. Or you could try reversing the screws. Move the back to the front and the front to the back. You never want to force anything on your Singer Featherweight. You can learn lots of tips just like this in Nova's Featherweight Workshop. I'm limiting my travel right now due to my health, but I've placed the workshop online so that it is accessible to anyone at any time, anywhere. I want to help you learn to preserve and protect your machine for future generations. Happy stitching.